All right. So we're going to do a nice yin practice tonight. And we are going to do tension and compression. And so I'm going to grab my bolster to sit on to start and pull my stuff. My son was just in here lifting weights before. And by lifting weights, I mean he does a 7-minute little routine. And so I have to reorganize everything that he came up with himself as of last night. So this is something new that his older cousins showed him. So he's trying a new little routine for himself. So, and I also did my own practice this morning. So all of my props are all over the place. And we're going to do a breath work to start. And so we're going to start with alternate nostril breathing. And then our first posture is going to be a caterpillar pose. So we'll just kind of ground ourselves with just a minute of just stillness. And so I'm just going to set a timer and just have us close our eyes. And then just finding whatever breath feels comfortable, feels natural. And just settling in here for this next minute. And then if your breath is not even starting to find your Samavriti breath, inhaling for an equal to exhale equal amount. Then we're going to start to pair that with alternate nostril breathing. If you know it, you can head into it by starting closing that right nostril, inhaling through your left. Lug the left, open the right, exhale. Inhale right. Plug the right, open the left, exhale. Continuing for the next minute with your breath. Taking it one more time and exhaling out through your left nostril to finish. Letting both palms rest down in the lap. And then just reciting your Sankalpa 3 times silently. And then we're going to slowly bow the chin to the chest, fluttering the eyes open, preparing for that first posture, which is going to be a caterpillar pose. And so for this, if you have pillows or bolsters, you might have that in front of you. Legs will be straight out. And then wherever you're at, it's a little too far. Here, if you only have one thing, you could have your chin rest down on your hands. You can have blocks underneath the forehead, but finding your version. And then settling in there. And so wherever you're at, softening through your hands, softening through the back body. And so with this posture in this caterpillar, feeling that breath move into your back body. And then tuning into our theme, which is about tension and compression and obstacles on the path. So tension in the body, you can move through. Typically, tension is fascial related. And so that means you can improve that fascia tissue. Compression often means it can be a bone on bone. It can be flesh on flesh. You're not going to move past a certain point. It's just physically impossible. There's an obstacle there, and how you deal with that obstacle in yin is with props. And so for some of us, this posture right here is caterpillar is hard. It's really hard on our hamstrings, hard on our backs. And so the props here can help guide us a little deeper. And as you continue to hold this, just noticing, where do you feel the most tension? So often, again, this posture is one that might be more full of tension than with compression. Observing if the tension is moving throughout the posture as you hold it. Maybe new sensations arise the longer you hold. And then a few more deep breaths here. And no rush, but just slowly coming out of this posture Maybe taking a gentle heart opener with the hands behind the back. Just noticing how the body is feeling after that pose. Noticing if the tension released a little or if it's still with you. Our next posture is going to be sleeping swan. And so for this posture, you might have props, but you don't need them. You can have a pillow if you want underneath your hip. You can lay on a pillow in front of you or a bolster. But finding your version there, and you can always take a figure four on your back if sleeping swan is not your jam today. So coming into this posture, maybe from that down dog, maybe from that tabletop, and then just setting yourself up. And so as you sneak down into that sleeping swan, this one is a little bit different than our first posture. Typically, sleeping swan, we might have some compression here. And so observing if the compression maybe is happening in the front of the hip. Others might have tension again, and tension through that outer hip. And maybe it's a combo of both. So just tuning into your body and observing where that compression, where that tension is. And then maybe just that open fist. Can I soften and release? Both compression and tension are needed and necessary in a yin practice. Sometimes in Ayurveda, we think one dosha is better than the other. And sometimes even hearing the compression versus tension, we think maybe one is better. There isn't. Every single person is going to have different experiences and sensations. And depending on the day it is, your body can have compression one week and tension the next. And we'll breathe here for one more minute. And then with that next exhale or so, finding your way into a gentle counter pose, maybe a cat cow, maybe child's pose or even a down dog, but being intentional, keeping that focus internal. And then if you have props that you want to adjust or move to the other side, you might shift them there. And then starting to prepare for that second side, however you want to transition into it from whatever posture. And even though we're in that same posture, the second side, it can be a completely different experience. And so tuning back into that compression versus tension and just seeing, what does side two feel like? What is my story over here? And then if you observe more tension, can you stay present? And if you're thinking of it like an obstacle on the path, do you need to go around it, through it, find support? Last few breaths here. And then slowly making your way again into any gentle movement or stillness. And then we're going to come down onto our backs next, and we're going to be coming into Banana Asana. And so you could have a support, a gentle one, if anything, a light blanket underneath the head. And then we'll start by walking those feet to the right corner of your mat and the arms up and over that right side body. And so breathing into that left rib cage. And then on this one, just again, tuning in. Sometimes people feel tension in their hips or even compression in their hips. And sometimes people feel it more in their torso. Or maybe this posture feels pretty open and you feel that prana moving. It's okay not to have an obstacle in a posture as well. One more minute here on this side. And if you find you have a lot of obstacles right now, tuning in to maybe that goddess Kali energy. She's one that I always call upon to help ease obstacles. So even putting 3 energetic blue circles around your body, protecting your energy. And then walking your legs through to center, maybe taking a pause there, letting the arms rest at your sides. Taking a few deep breaths into the low back, into the legs, in the front of the hips. And then walking the feet towards that left corner of your mat. Maybe taking those arms up and overhead to the left. Breathing into that right rib cage. And those arms again can be straight, they can be bent. Breathing into that right rib cage. And then recircling that energetic boundaries if your animals are ignoring them, like mine are. And just noticing where the back of your head is if you're leaning towards your left. The back of your head is centered. And then maybe trying the other way and just noticing. Did you naturally do something, but maybe it feels better with a gentle shift. Then can you feel that fresh prana moving through that side body? Taking those deep breaths to the low belly. Taking one or two more breaths here. And then when you feel ready, this time we're actually going to bend into the knees and roll to that left side, making a pillow with that left arm and just taking a few breaths here. And then pressing back up to a seated position. We're going to take one more posture, and then we are going to take kind of a seated Shavasana-ish pose today. So we're going to take dragonfly. We're going to continue with that tension and compression. And so you could sit up again on a ledge of a blanket. Pillows can be in front of you. You have blocks, you might raise them underneath pillows. And so for dragonfly, this is always one where it can be very different folding forwards. So if you're hypermobile, I will encourage you to have props to rest on. So if you're normally someone who could lay on the floor, maybe put some props underneath you. If you're someone who you're like, there's no way I'm laying on the floor, definitely have some props underneath you and just folding forward to whatever space feels best. And then once more, finding that breath. The one thing that is nice about using props, especially sometimes if you don't need them, is finding that support and feeling the difference when we can maybe just kind of fold into things and just hang out. I call it kind of hanging in your joints versus really truly folding inwards and finding your true pose, your true seat. And sometimes that brings up uncomfortable feelings, emotions. I always feel it like I feel this in acupuncture too. It's sometimes you're like, oh, I'm going to be sick because it's just a shifting of energy that needs to happen often for myself. Breaking out of old patterns. It's hard, it's not easy. And so coming back to that Samavriti, that even breath count. And taking a few more deep breaths here. And then slowly with one of those next few exhales, rolling back up. And again, maybe taking those hands behind you, rotating through the neck. Just noticing if you felt compression, maybe in the front of the hip bones, feeling more open or even creating space to reduce that compression just for a little bit. And so for our seated final Shavasana, we're actually going to do the butterfly posture. And so for that butterfly, soles of the feet will come together, knees are going to open, and then you can fold forward any amount. And so you don't need to have props to fold forward onto. If you have some that you want to rest your forehead down as you're in your seated Shavasana / yin posture, I find sometimes it's nice for a quicker class, a 30-minute one, to kind of have that rest, be in a little posture, but also having it a more restorative posture. So if the hips are feeling, again, that tension, you can always put blocks or pillows underneath the knees. And then softening those eyes. And then if you drew those 3 electric blue rings around yourself, just noticing if you would like to keep those or maybe release them. And then tuning in to that theme of obstacles. And if there's something that you're struggling with off your mat, what needs your attention? You need to go through something around it, find support. And this is where that Sankalpa can be a great relier is, what am I working towards? What's my ultimate goal? And sometimes that Sankalpa can be that guiding light, depending on what your Sankalpa is. Three more deep breaths here. And then if you're folded forward, just slowly coming back up to that seated position. Maybe the legs stay where they are, you find a different seat. But taking those palms together at the heart center, taking an inhale in through the nose, open mouth exhale. We'll gather the palms together And then taking the Kali Mudra, taking our index fingers straight up towards the sky, bringing it up above our heads. Bringing the hands down to that third eye, trusting your intuition. Bringing your hands to your lips, speaking your truth. And bringing your hands to heart center, knowing yourself. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Bowing in so much gratitude and helping you release those obstacles. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Christina, I hope you have a wonderful